Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Glad to be here with you all. My name is Frida Tai. I'm the partner at SpareX. SpareX builds the world first stablecoin that pays passive income to all users. And in addition, we built a cloud mining community mobile app called SpareX Play. All of these DeFi products are built on top of our proof of stake public blockchain called Prairie. And I am extremely excited for our first live AMA today, where we can have the most immediate interaction with all of our token holders. So glad to have you all. And let's do a round of self-introduction, starting from me, myself. I hold a bachelor degree in foreign affairs and history minor from University of Virginia. I'm also a graduate from Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism with a Master of Science degree in data journalism. And I used to be a journalist. I have extensive experience in reporting the latest technology trends in Asia Pacific, and I've been very mesmerized by the potential of crypto and blockchain industries. So Sprax was founded in late 2019, and we're backed by FDG Capital and Ally Ventures, which are respectively the largest crypto investors in Singapore and Europe. And in addition to that, we're also supported by Jump Trading, who is our largest investor at the moment. So that is a little background about myself and the company. So let's start with the rest of my teammates today. Susu, would you like to go next?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Susu. So a little background about myself. I went to the same university as Frida, University of Virginia, and majored in economics and statistics. And after that, I went to Cornell University, mastered in the financial engineering. So that's why I've been actually constantly really captivated by the fintech technology. And that's why I joined SpareX since last December. And so my main focus is on the economic design as well as the overall DeFi products. So I'm really excited to be here and answering all the questions that you will have. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Susu. Alec, would you like to go next?
Yeah, of course. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Alec. A little bit of background on myself. I studied finance at Marquette University, which is located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And during my time as an undergraduate, I started their blockchain research lab, where we did everything from mechanism design, designed architecture for local manufacturing clients, and I really was able to get a lot of experience in both like the traditional blockchain side of things as well as the crypto native side of things. Upon graduating, I actually worked for Marquette University in their business school for 2 years. And then after I left Marquette, I joined SpareX, where I'm the partner of business development. And my responsibility is to work on strategic partnerships, mainly to increase the supply and the utility of USDS, our stablecoin, and ultimately increase the daily active users and the user experience of the SpareX Play mobile app. So I'm super excited to be here and answer all your questions.
Fantastic. Nicholas?
Hey everyone, I'm really excited to be here. My name is Nicholas. I'm from Greece. I have studied economics at university. I did my undergraduate at the University of Edinburgh. I did my master's at UCL. And then I spent some time doing research in academia. I was at LSE for a year doing research in macroeconomics and econometrics. And then I was at Princeton for 1.5 years doing research in microfinance. Some of my work has been published in avenues such as Harvard Business Review and the National Bureau of Economic Research. Before joining SpareX, I worked for a bit more than a year at another stablecoin project called Terra that was based in Korea. And have been in SpareX since November. Really excited to be here. I'm leading the stablecoin design. And yeah, I'm looking forward to your questions.
Thank you, Nicholas. In addition to Nicholas, we also have Harvard Business School Professor DiMaggio, who leads our stablecoin design. Okay, lastly, we have David.
Hi everyone, my name is David. A bit background, I hold a bachelor degree from UCLA I majored in mathematics of computation. I'm here. I joined SparX, I think, last December. I'm on the infrastructure team. I'm just generally interested in the technology of blockchain and the potential of DeFi field. And yeah, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you all. So I think it will be great for us to start briefing what we've been doing, our progress, and our vision for different teams. So the infrastructure team, David, are you ready?
Yeah, definitely. Let me share the slides really quick. Let me know if you guys can see the screen. Great. So hi everyone. Again, this is David Zhao. I'm on SparX infrastructure team. I will brief you on our work on behalf of all my teammates. So for the infrastructure team, the long-term key task is to develop and implement SparX originally designed blockchain, which is going to be powered by our BDLS consensus protocol and our dual token eco model. Broadly speaking, we are in charge of developing two testnets, like testnet V1 and V2, and also eventually the fully functioning mainnet. Other than that, we are also in charge of like DApp developments or like any engineering works that involve smart contract drafting. For example, our upcoming several liquidity mining campaign, and also the launch of our stablecoin USDS on Ethereum. And here is our teammates. So for now, we have 4 members on the team. Joe is one.
David, would you mind using full screen for the presentation?
Yeah, sure. One sec.
Present button. Just press the present button.
On the top right corner.
Perfect.
Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Great, perfect.
Thank you for reminding.
Yeah. I was speaking. Joe is one of the author and conference presenter of the IEE paper on the SparX BDLS design. And me here and I are the developer and researcher here at SparX. And Andrew is one of our full stack engineer. Okay. So yeah, in order to understand our work here, I'd like to do a brief elaboration on the core of our SparX blockchain design. Like why do we think we have the potential to stand out among all the competitors in the field for now? So first thing first, our blockchain will be backed by our originally designed BDLS and dedicated proof of stake consensus protocol. The paper was published on IEE last year in April, and we launched our BDLS plus proof of stake testnet V1 in last year, December. So generally speaking, without being too technical, BDLS, you can see it as like have 2 major advantages comparing to other existing protocols, like say proof of stake on Ethereum. So first, it is very fast. It has linear communication time complexity, which is, we are looking at like 7 to 10 seconds of finalization time per block. Just for the reference, the current time for Ethereum is 15 seconds per block. So that's a major improvement. Second, BDLS is highly secure. It will be the first blockchain in the industry that is secure in type 2 partially async network. It's going to be safe from like the common denial of service attack, or like in other words, it is designed to be secure in a network structure that is very close to real world internet. This will bring a lot of potentials of like what kind of application we can run on that network. Yeah. Here is the paper we mentioned on the BDLS that got published. So besides BDLS, the second feature that that of our blockchain that I think would make us stand out is that we have a multi-stage dual token econ model that is fully embedded into our blockchain infrastructure. So for the dual token model, we will have two tokens. We will have SPA as our utility token and our stablecoin USDS. So, and I do want to mention a feature that it's like this econ model by design will have a stable or, in a sense, a minimum promised reward value for miners. And here is the paper that the econ team, I think, is working on with the University of Michigan on the econ mechanism I just mentioned. Great. So next, I would like to brief you guys on the overall roadmap of like infrastructure team. As I have mentioned, we published a paper last year. We launched the testnet V1 last year in December. And this year in March, we have designed, the econ team have designed the dual token multi-stage dynamic econ model that will be incorporated into our blockchain system. And let's look to the future. In the upcoming May and June, we are looking at launching several liquidity mining campaigns. For example, the SPA liquidity mining. And we're also looking at launching our stablecoin USDS on Ethereum. And after that will be a liquidity mining campaign for USDS as well. And in this year, September, we are looking at integrate Chainlink Oracle system. So yeah, the big picture. Next, we are thinking about next year, March, we're gonna launch testnet V2. So for this one, we will have BDLS consensus and the econ model fully functioned in the blockchain. And in August, we'll integrate a layer 2 solution into the into our blockchain. And we are looking at launching the fully functioning mainnet next year in December. And yeah, so the big picture we are looking at in 2023, we think we can start working on migrate all the existing dApps on Ethereum into our ecosystem, because one of the feature of our blockchain is that we are highly compatible with the current EVM. So it will be easy for the dApps to migrate into our ecosystem. Yeah, that's my presentation. Thank you, guys. Yeah, sorry, I forgot the slides. Great.
Thank you, David. Are you going to close the slides?
Yes. Let me hurry.
Yeah, anyway, thank you so much, David. We have an extremely extensive understanding about how our BDLS compete with other blockchains and how we vision what it's going to look like. And regarding some more specific questions about our infrastructure, we'll take questions from the audience after each team brief about their progress. So coming next, how about we hear some update from Nicholas and Susu about our econ design?
Yeah, sure. Let me put my presentation up. 1 second. Can everyone see my screen?
Good.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm really excited to give you a brief overview of USDS, our own native stablecoin. It's meant to be a short introduction rather than a really thorough overview. We will be publishing the white paper in the next month, as well as many supporting documentation to ensure that the whole community can understand the key mechanism. But this is just meant to be a general overview of the specific things that the USDS will be based on. So USDS will be an algorithmic, highly scalable, censorship-resistant, decentralized stablecoin that will operate transparently, fully on-chain. And we believe that the USDS will solve many of the issues that existing stablecoins face. So on the one hand, you have the most dominant category of stablecoins, which are the fiat-backed stablecoins. They're pretty robust. They tend to be relatively capital efficient, but of course they are quite centralized by design. They do not operate fully on chain, and therefore they're also they're not censorship resistant. If we condition on decentralized censorship resistant stablecoins, then we have on the one hand the algorithmic stablecoins, which they tend to be quite capital efficient as well as scalable, easy to scale, but hard to bootstrap grow, and they can experience long periods of volatility. Basis Cash, for instance, is a good example that falls under that category, that even though it utilizes a pretty smart design, it has spectacularly failed to stay around the peg. And recently, Fei Protocol demonstrates another example that even though it managed to have a really successful launch, it has failed to trade close to the peg since its inception. Then you have the crypto collateralized stablecoins like DAI that tend to be much more robust, but they rely on high level of collateralization. They tend to be over collateralized, which significantly limits their scalability and makes them quite capital inefficient. For us to try to resolve all of the above issues, we're suggesting a hybrid solution. USDS will be a combination between crypto collateralized stablecoins like DAI on the one hand, and dual token algorithmic stablecoins like Terra on the other hand. So it's going to be a hybrid solution that, in our view, utilizes the best of both worlds. So how USDS manages to stay stable? How we achieve stability? USDS will rely on some explicit collateral that will be given by external cryptocurrencies, and the complete list of external cryptocurrencies will be decided via DAO process. We expect at launch that we'll be able to fully support most major stablecoins as well as the dominant cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And on the other hand, we will be implicitly supporting USDS by having the protocol to act as a market maker using our own native coin SPA. And the exact composition of those two forces will be determined on-chain according to market conditions. The key objective is for users to be able to exchange at the protocol level one USDS for $1 worth of cryptocurrency under all market conditions. In the early days, we will of course rely much more on external collateral, but as SPA matures, as SPA gets more widely listed and has a high liquidity, low slippage, low volatility, we will rely much more on the algorithmic stabilization. We believe that this design will lead to price stability by incentivizing arbitrageurs to create an elastic supply of USDS that matches changes in demand. And later on, I'll go into that topic in a bit more detail. So before we start going deeper into the stability mechanism, let's just first discuss how USDS will achieve an elastic supply, which is to say how new USDS will be minted and how existing USDS will be burned. So when a user wants to create a USDS coin, then they will have to send some SPA to the protocol, and that SPA will be burned, as well as some external collateral that will be locked. And then in the converse case, when users want to redeem, circulate an existing USDS for the underlying cryptocurrencies, then they will be receiving some newly released SPA coins, as well as some of the locked collateral. So in one picture, that's how minting and burning will operate. So let's discuss the three key aspects of the stability mechanism. So on the one hand, as I said, we will utilize external crypto collateral. This will ensure that even under the worst case scenario, USDS has a value equal to the collateral, those creating a price floor for the price of the stablecoin. And in the early days, of course, we will start with a pretty high collateral ratio to ensure that even under a worst case scenario, the stablecoin will be able to trade pretty close to the peg. All the locked collateral will be deployed in yield aggregators, seeking the highest yield available at any given point in time. And as I'll explain later, this yield will go directly to the USDS holders. The complete list of suitable collateral will be determined by SPA holders via DAO. And unlike other crypto collateralized stablecoins, we will not be fully collateralized. This will make USDS much more scalable, capital efficient, while eliminating liquidation risks, such as the ones that we have observed in DAI. And finally, the uncollateralized component of USDS will be stabilized algorithmically from the protocol using SPA. Another key component of our stablecoin design is that USDS holders will receive ongoing interest rate and will have their principal protected in terms of in fiat terms. How we will achieve that? Users will be incentivized to lock capital within Sperax because they will be receiving ongoing interest rate from DeFi yield aggregators. This interest rate will be partially subsidized in the early days by SPA inflation. This subsidy will ensure, on the one hand, that the yield is steady, and on the other hand, it will adjust to incentivize capital inflows whenever aggregate collateral is not sufficient. Finally, users will be able to always close their position and receive their initial capital in fiat terms by utilizing the algorithmic component of our stability mechanism. And finally, we're going to introduce some dynamic swap fees that will be calibrated on-chain to stabilize the inflow-outflow ratio, which is to say, to ensure that the stablecoin supply cannot change rapidly on a day-to-day basis. So how is that interest rate being funded? I think seeing that in a picture can make the whole thing a bit simpler for everyone to understand. Users will be sending their collateral within the Sperax protocol. Sperax will take that collateral and reinvest it on outside yield aggregators, and then that yield will pass directly to the stablecoin holders and will also be subsidized by a moderate amount of SPA inflation that will be calibrated on chain. So effectively, whenever a user holds a USDS coin, they are expected to receive interest rate on a quasi-random interval in the range of 10 to 30% APY. So it's going to be extremely lucrative to hold that stable coin. And we believe that this is going to be a big competitive advantage of USDS relative to other stable coins in the market at the moment. Finally, let's go briefly through the algorithmic component of the of the protocol, which is to say that there is going to be the protocol will act as a market maker using SPA. So how exactly will that work? As I said before, whenever a new USDS is being minted, some SPA will be burned. And whenever an existing USDS is being burned, some SPA will be released in the market. Balancing the composition between the collateral and algorithmic stabilization effectively means deciding to what extent changes in USDS demand will translate to changes in SPA supply. And the exact composition will be determined on chain based on market conditions. The key takeaway from that, though, is that if demand for USDS increases over time, so if we expect that USDS will have more and more use cases over time and that the market cap of USDS will grow over time, the above mechanism will almost surely lead to SPA deflation. This is to say, expect that the total supply of SPA eventually to be way less than the current 5 billion number. So we expect SPA to become significantly more scarce as USDS supply grows. And conversely, though, the risk there is that this mechanism will always defend the peg, but this will happen at the cost of some SPA inflation. So whenever there is low demand for USDS, temporarily we might have a slightly higher SPA inflation. And to briefly explain how the arbitrage algorithmic mechanism works in action, let's take those two examples. So let's assume first that USDS trades below the peg on exchanges. The protocol will still allow users to trade one USDS for $1. Under such scenario, people will buy USDS from exchanges at a discount, send it to the protocol, and receive back from the protocol $1 denominated in collateral as well as newly released SPA. And they will keep doing that, causing sufficient buying pressure of USDS on centralized exchanges, therefore bringing the price back to the peg. In the converse case, if USDS trades at exchanges at a premium, people then will have an incentive to send SPA and eligible collateral to the protocol, swap it for USDS, and sell those USDS back to exchanges, profiting from the peg difference. Again, both of those processes will keep happening until arbitrageurs bring the price of USDS back to $1. And I understand that at the moment, this might sound like a bit of a complicated trading strategy for the average user, but we're already in talks with Hummingbot to try to automate part of that strategy for retail users. So all of the arbitrage strategy will be able to happen automatically using like a simple bot. Also, to make a visual illustration of the point I was trying to make, let's assume, for instance, that the demand for USDS suddenly grows. So that means the demand curve goes from D1 to D2. Then arbitrageurs will have an incentive to mint new stablecoins using some of the SPA. So the SPA supply should contract, should go from S1 to S2. which eventually should lead to a higher price for SPA, since SPA will be more scarce. And this will lead to an expansion of the USDS supply, therefore keeping the peg stable. In other words, you can think of that mechanism in the following way. What the protocol will do is it will translate USDS price volatility into SPA supply volatility. And if we assume that over the long term, USDS demand will grow, then deterministically, this should lead to a reduction in the SPA supply, therefore making SPA more scarce and leading to SPA having a higher value than today. So apart from the scarcity component, there is another key mechanism that the USDS will lead to significant value accrual for SPA holders. Whenever a USDS transaction happens, some of the fee will go directly to the SPA stakers. So what that means is that whenever new USDS are being minted or burned, or when USDS are being transferred from wallet A to wallet B, some of the transaction fee will go directly to those who stake their SPA. So we expect that as USDS adoption grows and as we have higher and higher transaction volume, we will manage to collect more and more transaction fees. Therefore, the staking rewards, the block rewards, will significantly increase. And additionally, we will make the transaction fees counter-cyclical to ensure that the volatility is low, that the volatility of the rewards is low, and this will lead to rewards that match the long-term growth of the SpareX economy. So as we have more use cases, as we have more applications for USDS, we'll generate more revenue, and that revenue will go directly to the SPA holders. Here is a brief comparison of USDS to other stablecoins. We will be releasing a blog post in the next few weeks that will go through that in detail, but I just wanted to give you like a brief overview. We compare the different stablecoins across the following dimensions: the collateral amount, whether a stablecoin is under collateralized, fully collateralized, or over collateralized. The collateral type, whether it's a hybrid collateral, whether it's a fiat, a crypto, or just algorithmic. How scalable the stablecoin is, whether it's decentralized, and the type of stability mechanism that they utilize. And here is a visual illustration of that, just for the folks who didn't have time to read the previous slide. You have on the one hand crypto-backed stablecoins like DAI, Reserve, Synthetics. You have on the other hand algorithmic stablecoins like Basis Cash, BSD, and Terra. And you have USDS being in the middle, utilizing components from both of those categories. And yes, that's a brief overview, and I'm looking forward to answer your questions in a little while.
Thank you, Nicholas. That is extremely helpful. I've been reading the comments in the chat box from our audience, and obviously there are some of the jargons that we need to further elaborate. And don't worry, we're going to take all of your questions in the Q&A section. And by the way, for people who have not been keeping up with our Medium, I'm going to drop the Medium link that talk about the use cases of our USDS stablecoin. It explains in very plain language about exactly how you can benefit from adopting USDS. No jargon at all. It is very straightforward, very clean, very concise. I encourage all of you to take a look, read into that, and we'll note exactly why we would design this stablecoin. Coming next, Susu. I think Susu has been developing some really exciting products, some very new inventions like synthetic assets. So would you like to start?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for Nicholas for providing this really comprehensive introduction on the USDS. And what I'd like to emphasize on is that USDS is actually just the beginning for our SpareX product, because what we're aiming to do is actually providing this whole new innovative decentralized ecosystem. So, so based on the timeline, what we're thinking of doing was that user can actually hold this USDS to actually preserve their wealth, also generating them revenues by actually participating in our future products. So what we have in mind is the synthetic assets, option products, as well as like our decentralized exchanges. And so people are also like wondering, since we already have this like traditional finance doing this like synthetic assets or option products, why we are SpareX or thinking of like building on the blockchain. So I think the main reason is that for people, for instance, like holding their cryptocurrencies, at the same time, they can also get exposed to the decentralized products into the real world assets without actually holding it. And as for the option products, they actually provide this benefit to guarantee the user that it will be always being exercised no matter what, because we are actually trading to the smart contract, not through like a KYC interface. And so currently SpareX team has already conducted extensive research on the synthetic assets as well as option products. And we have found out that currently there's not many like protocols are doing the synthetic assets as well as like option contracts. So the main problem is that they didn't really have like large enough liquidity to provide all the service. Also, like there's problems with like how they actually designing their pricing formulas. So that's why like where SpareX team was actually trying to step into the field in terms of providing a more refined synthetic assets as well as option products, so that actually user can actually holding their USDS and then participating in these different products to actually generating them wealth. And in the given amount, and we think SpareX teams will actually provide everyone with the roadmap as well as the timeline in terms of how we're gonna approach all these protocols, and then hopefully that you guys can stay tuned to our like Medium posts as well as our newsletter for the future products. Thank you. I think that's a brief introduction about what's going to happen in the future.
Thank you, Susu. By the way, our newsletter is going to be out right after this live stream AMA, and you will get a written format about all of these updates we've been briefed so far. So that is pretty exciting. I think synthetics assets is definitely the latest fad right now, and I hope we can catch the ride. So everyone, please look forward to our upcoming product launch. Next will be the marketing and business development team. Alec, are you ready?
Yes, I am. So thank you so much, Nico, David, and Susu. That was really comprehensive, so I kind of have my work cut out for me. As everyone heard, we have some super exciting products in the pipeline and some that are already out. So it's my responsibility to communicate those products and ensure that we have users and ensure that USDS is very usable and very liquid. So I view 3 key objectives on the business development and the marketing front over the course of this calendar year. First, to integrate SpareX as a brand into the decentralized finance community. 2, ensure that there's adequate liquidity of USDS so future applications can run seamlessly and we don't run into any supply constraints. And then 3, we have DeFi integration into SpareX Play. So let me break those down real fast. On the first point, which is community integration, we launched a year-long grant initiative called Lifted. And what it does is supports women and women-led teams in the blockchain space. It's a cross-ecosystem program that provides financial resources and mentorship to the recipients. There are 4 phases, 1 every calendar quarter. And we've already completed the first phase. We had some exciting partners, including Polyant Games. We had advisors from the Maker Foundation, advisors from the Bigger Pie. We were able to support 3 women-led teams in the first phase. So keep an eye out on Twitter, on Medium, to kind of keep up to date with the progress of those teams. And we're actually running the second phase of Lifted right now. Applications are open until May 31st, and we're going to actually give away up to $50,000 in partnership with the Oasis network. So applicants can port stablecoins from the Ethereum network over to Oasis, or they can launch their own product right on Oasis. And you'll get the benefit of working with both SpareX and the Oasis teams to actually help you bring that product to market. So we're super excited. And if you're interested, don't hesitate to apply at sparex.io/lifted. And Ultimately, that's so we can strengthen the relationship and eventually build privacy-preserving apps with Oasis as well. So phase 2, which is USDS usability. Once USDS is launched, we need to ensure that there's deep liquidity available on decentralized exchanges so users can go and acquire any amount of USDS that's needed. So before we actually integrate USDS into SpareX Play, what we're going to do is run various liquidity mining campaigns, starting with Uniswap. And the purpose of this, like I mentioned, is to incentivize both the minting of the actual token as well as depositing it into decentralized exchanges so all of our users can go and acquire USDS without any friction. We're starting on Uniswap, but we do believe in a multi-chain future, so it won't just be limited to Ethereum. We're going to be working with projects like Polygon, with Binance Smart Chain. Basically, we will be expanding to all major layer 1 blockchains and any decentralized exchange that is really picking up traction. And if our users demand it, we're absolutely willing and excited to bring USDS cross-chain. So that's phase 2. And then our third phase is integrating USDS and various DeFi protocols into SpareX Play. So SpareX Play is the super user-friendly portal into DeFi. And once USDS is liquid, we'll integrate the features right into SpareX Play. So what we're doing is, obviously we're going to have minting and burning functionality of USDS, but we're super excited to integrate synthetic assets like Susu had mentioned, as well as existing DeFi protocols to create a mobile application that allows anyone with an internet connection to reap the benefits of a high-performance, decentralized banking application with a super intuitive user interface. So we're just so excited about that. And then our final phase would be to approach more traditional financial institutions and propose partnerships and work on deals where we can actually integrate USDS into their payment rails. So you can start using USDS as well as SpareX Play at your local corner store. Begin integrating with more traditional financial companies. So at the end of the year, our objectives are to have deep liquidity of USDS on decentralized and centralized exchanges. Ensure that there's high circulation of USDS, which will result in a significant SPA burn. And third, we're going to have a user-friendly interface to interact with USDS, DeFi, and you can keep in touch with all of your DeFi and crypto friends through the application as well. So, keep in the loop. Check out Medium for updates. Follow my Twitter, SpareX_Alec. Shoot me a DM if you ever want to chat. And we'll be uploading progress to Medium, Twitter, and our various social channels. So, yeah.
Thank you, Alec. Your compliment is flooding in the chat box. People are complimenting you as a Superman.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't looking.
Thank you guys for all your support. So basically, I'm going to cover the community side to provide some more specific statistics mentioned by Alec. I'm really proud to share that based on our Google Analytics data, this cloud mining community mobile app SpareX Play, since debuted in February, has now crossed over 550K users from over 190 countries. This is a little accomplishment that we just cannot stay humble with. We're extremely proud, really appreciate all your support. And this month, its latest version 1.1, was unveiled. And to walk users through all the new features, we have 3 AMAs in the Chinese community, Korean one, and also our global community. And to keep you guys on in loop, to signal squareness, SpareX Play version 1.1 feature phone registration only. We also enable the mining reminders Thirdly, the users can delete team members, basically to manage your snowball teams. And fourth of all, we optimize the mining formula. You can check out the exact mining formula in the announcement, which I would drop in the chat box right after. And we also add this About Us page where you can check out all of our links to our Telegram, Twitter, Medium, WeChat, and all that. And lastly, we tweak a little bit on the UI side to make it more user-friendly, to make it smoother. And also for people who are highly concerned about SparX Play, we have suspended around 360 suspicious accounts with rampant fake invitees and unusual high experience points, XP, which I will explain further about the conversion rate to SPA, our token holder, our governance token. So that will be about a little update on SparX Play. In addition to that, we're going to organize a series of AMAs in all language channel for this liquidity mining program that's coming up, and also our USDS Genesis event. All of the details will be included in the newsletter. So without further ado, let's get straight into the pre-collected questions. First of all, I've been using SparX Play and mining for some time. Mining creates XPs for me, but I don't know what XP is. So can you provide some information about XP? What are its use cases? When can I benefit from it? And finally, does this process use the energy of my mobile device? So, like I mentioned before, I would like to clarify the relationship between XP and SPA. So XP is an experience points. It's a very regular term in all gaming platform. You can earn XP on SparX Play by mining, inviting friends, and snowballing, which is mining with your teams. Second of all, most importantly, XP is not crypto or token at this point, but XP can be converted into SPA, our governance token, in the future. And the conversion ratio will be determined and announced by both the SparX Foundation and DAO together through voting. And until then, you can keep collecting SP points, contribute to support through mining, and stay active in our community. And lastly, just a reminder, mining or holding SP points will not help you receive any airdrops. If you don't know, it's the airdrop that we just recently concluded and in future airdrops. So, but we are considering using XP as an alternative to crypto tokens with which you can exchange for small rewards like access to some exclusive crypto articles, news articles, some free trials to new products, etc. But all of this that I just mentioned are just some tentative thoughts, some really rough designs for now. And second question, oh, by the way, all of these questions are collected through the Google form, and we'll answer the live questions in a bit. How will I be a holder of your token? You can participate in airdrop events. You can participate in AMA to receive rewards. And now, most importantly, that you can freely trade SPA on the most popular decentralized exchange, Uniswap, in the official Uniswap V2 SPA ETH pool, which I'm going to drop the link right here. Right here. And the initial liquidity was provided by the SparX ecosystem, and the ETH come from SparX Reserve. So that will be the some information about this initial liquidity, but to expect more is that we're going to launch the incentive program. So 7 versions of the liquidity mining incentive program smart contracts have already been deployed on a Kovan testnet for the final testing. And as for the front end, we already integrated the liquidity mining interface into our DApp page, which will be the entrance for all of our DeFi products. So there you can seamlessly interact with Uniswap for either swapping or liquidity provision. And third question, will USDS be used for payment? Are we going to make a card like Visa card that will be used for actual payment? What have you prepared for this? Nicholas, would you like to share your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so on the first stage, we're going to utilize the SparX Play app for USDS payments. So users will be able to send funds from wallet A to wallet B within the SparX Pay app in a really user-friendly manner. We are in talks to have partnerships for fiat on and off ramps, but nothing has been finalized yet. It would be nice for us to create a card, and it's something we're seriously thinking. And as I said, we are in discussions with some partners like Visa or MasterCard, but yeah, I cannot give an exact timeline on that yet because it's still on the tentative phase.
Thank you, Nicholas. Next question. Are you working on any kind of partnership with projects like Kava, Celo, Polygon, Compound, MakerDAO, the Graph, etc.? Alec, would you like to take this one?
Yeah, so we're working on two different types of partnerships with such entities. First, we're doing kind of like a community type partnership. So we have representatives from many of those companies assisting with the Lifted campaign. So they're working as advisors and helping these recipients kind of deploy their projects. And we're working together to integrate our systems. But then there's also kind of this technical collaboration that we're working on as well, where we are going to integrate various DeFi protocols into SpareX Play. And once USDS is live, we're working with a lot of those major decentralized protocols to integrate USDS as the stable coin of choice for both payments as well as loans and various applications in the DeFi realm.
Thank you, Alec. Next question, I think you should be able to cover this too. Which institutions will be on your auditor list? Is there anything we can disclose for the moment?
Yeah, in the short term, we're going to be working with Certec to ensure that our liquidity mining contracts are all safe. And then we're working with a couple different auditing firms. I'm not going to disclose them yet, and this is for USDS because we're still in talks, but we're going to actually get 2 or 3 different tier 1 firms to audit the protocol. This is because, you know, we're going to have upwards of $1 billion in collateral locked on chain. So our number one priority is ensure the safety and integrity of those funds. So we're going to get multiple auditors to both audit it and create public-facing reports. So keep on the lookout for that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Alec. Next question, tricky one. Does the SpareX team have any kind of negotiation with one of the top tier exchanges that I've been talking about a few months ago? When can we expect an official listing? It could be the case. I cannot give you an exact answer at this moment, but do expect some major listing from the world leading exchange for now, because this is a major decision that needs to be collectively determined by the entire team. That is why we take extra discretion making this decision. And we would like to protect the interests of all of our investors, big or small. So we, as you can tell so far, if you have been supported along the way, that SpareX is it is a team not only focus a lot on technology, but also don't make anything in a rush. So expect something in the future, but rather than giving you exact timeline which will be pushed due to some contingency factors, I would like to first of all thank you for your support along the way, and then we will definitely give you a satisfactory answer in the future. So thank you for that question. And next one, Andy, I heard Jump Trading became the largest investor of SpareX. Is this true? Well, if you were with us since the beginning of the CMA, you will know the answer that I'm not going to disclose to you right now. And can SpareX integrate DIA as well as Link? Who would like to take this question?
What was the first? Can you repeat the question one more time?
Can SpareX integrate DIA as well as Link? Let me drop the question in the chat box.
Was that supposed to be DAI, D-A-I?
I figured that could be the case. Andy, are you online? Would you like to clarify that question? Oh, no, that is Oliver. Oliver from London. Yes, we can definitely send out some merch. We didn't expect so many people got so much attention we received so far for the merch, the t-shirts. We've been sending out t-shirts to my community, Spiraxian of the community. And so far we've been sending out 2 t-shirts. We're expecting more to be made, to be manufactured at the same time. So big expect there might be upgraded version of the t-shirt that we're gonna add some even cooler elements. So I think all of us.
Yeah. Assuming that question is about DAI and Link, then DAI will be one of our first collateral. So we're going to be using DAI as a collateral for USDS. I can already guarantee that. But when it comes to Link, I mean, someone could always suggest Link to be an eligible collateral via DAO process, but that's not something we're considering to do at launch. And regarding our Oracle solution, we will probably go with Band protocol at first and migrate to Chainlink at a later stage. But we're still considering what our future options are going to be when it comes to that.
Great. Thank you. Next question. What kind of methods will the team use to solve the liquidity problem in Uniswap? By the liquidity problem, I assume you're referring to the low trading volume at this moment. So first of all, we already injected some initial liquidity. However, that is just the beginning because we're going to launch the incentive program very soon. We're just doing the final design on the UX side and also trying to determine the final parameters. But everything else has been pretty much set, and we're pretty confident with this very solid incentive program that liquidity will be boosted very soon. Next question. We've been listening about this BDLS protocol from day one, but when will we see the real implementation of it? Please tell us the uniqueness of BDLS protocol. David, could you elaborate on that question?
Yeah, sure. So just to clarify, actually, so we have implement BDLS into our testnet v1. So the code base is ready, the logic, the algorithm is ready. The thing with testnet v1 is it is BDLS plus proof of stake, and we are looking at in testnet v2 we're gonna do BDLS plus dedicated proof of stake. So I would say in a sense it's a more complete version of a testnet. So yeah, I would say the next step is waiting for our testnet v2 launch. And according to our roadmap right now, it's going to be around next year, first quarter. Yeah.
Thank you, David. Thank you for the timeline. Next question. How USDS is different from other stablecoins available in the market? What problems it can solve? Nicholas has already covered this question previously in his presentation, but
I can give a short answer just in case someone wasn't there in the beginning. So first of all, keep in mind that we'll be releasing a blog post doing a case-by-case comparison between USDS and most major stablecoins. So we'll be providing a pretty detailed answer to that question, but I'll answer it more from a big picture perspective. So most of the existing stablecoins fall under 3 categories. They're either fiat-backed, which they usually tend to be pretty robust in terms of peg stability, but this comes at the cost of them being centralized and not censorship resistant. So for instance, Tether Foundation can arbitrarily arbitrarily freeze some of the tethers in circulation. And that's true for all of the centralized stablecoins. And then we have another group of stablecoins that are algorithmic, and they tend to be highly efficient, highly scalable, but they're much more experimental. And historically, their peg performance has not been great. So there you have things like Basis Cash, ESD, or the FEI protocol. And finally, you have the crypto-backed stablecoins, which they tend to be pretty robust, but this comes at the cost of them being not that easily scalable because they require more than like 100% capital locked for each unit of stablecoin. They're hard to scale. So for all of the above reasons, we try to create a solution that kind of combines the best of both worlds, which is to say that it's a decentralized solution. It's a solution that will operate transparently 100% on chain. So it will be censorship resistant. And then it will be robust on the one hand, because it will utilize some external cryptocurrency collateral, and it will be capital efficient because it will also utilize an algorithmic component. And we expect that as USDS grows, we will rely more and more on the algorithmic component, which is to say that USDS will become more and more scalable as time passes. So we think pretty much that it will be able to solve all of the key problems and be a capital efficient, decentralized, robust stablecoin solution.
Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you. Ravi or Ravi, forgive me if I pronounce your name incorrectly. Can you tell Owl to be chiller? He's pretty angry now. He's so strict. I will make sure you. I'll make sure to convey the message to Owl. But please understand that SpareX Telegram community is growing into a really scalable amount right now. So we would like to prevent any kind of unnecessary FUD or any kind of FUD or any kind of malicious user. So Owls is trying his best to do his job. Please be understandable, but I will communicate your thoughts to him. And Owl is a very loyal team member to us, and we'll really appreciate his work. So next question, Para Chara, can I get one SpareX t-shirt, please? Please for your address to Nadim, and if you get elected as the SpareXian of the month, next month, which is May, we will issue you a merch for sure. Yeah. And
quick suggestion.
Yeah.
When USDS is launched, we could maybe open a SpareX Play shop where we can sell like the t-shirts for some of the underlying USDS. So if the community would be interested in something like that, I would support it as an initiative.
That sounds like a great idea. That sounds like a great idea. Okay. Also regarding community, we do have a secret exclusive club that is completely invite only, and it will potentially be developed into our crucial governance group. So I would suggest that if you'd like to be part of the group to receive this exclusive invitation, just to be very active on the Telegram chat and also be extremely supportive on Twitter and just promote the project. Lastly, I would love to see SPA in Binance. Well, doesn't everybody want to see that? The question is, if you have been following us along the way, you can tell that SpareX, so to reap some immediate profits is not our goal. We are truly mission to benefit all financial lives with blockchain technology. And that is why we're taking step by step in a very steady speed instead of just trying to boost the project to the moon. So please be patient with us, and we really appreciate your support. I think we've answered all of our questions. Cool. Actually, very, very precise. We maintained this AMA in 1 hour. If that is all of your questions, thank you all for being here. It is very much more excited than we expected. This is our first live AMA, and we'll try to make a monthly live AMA to answer all of our questions. Your message, CG. Good job for you. Please do so. And yeah, thank you for your participation. Please join our next monthly AMA, and we really enjoy interacting with you face-to-face in a very approachable way. So thank you for being here, and have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful May. Thank you all. Bye.